So guys, full time 31-27 for the All Blacks against France in Dunedin. So today guys, we're going to go through the tries, go through some of the stats as well, my standout players, and without further ado guys, let's get into it. So yeah guys, it was a hell of a game, man. It started off quite strong for the French, and the All Blacks took some time to try and find their fast, quick All Black attacking rugby that we have. So let's go through a match summary, guys, and the tries. So within the first 55 seconds, man, SEVU REECE immediately got taken off for a HIA with which also ended up failed as well for a missed time tackle, and Damien McKenzie came on to replace him, and he went to fullback, and Will Jordan went to the right wing to replace SEVU REECE. So right off the bat, guys, some drama, and hopefully SEVU REECE can recover and come back in a couple of weeks' time, and get back into his All Black flying mode that he is well and truly known for. So the French were pushing the All Blacks back into the All Blacks half early in the game, and the French were applying very early pressure to the All Blacks and making them really test their defence and really put them on the edge. And they forced Cam Roigard to box kick it out from into the French half because of the French's just ruthless attacking in the first opening minutes of the game. It was a very nice attacking by the French at the ruck time, and then they got a penalty shot because of it at the 5-minute mark. And their French number 10 kicks the point over to make it a really 3-0 for the French. The French really were controlling the game in their first 10 minutes, man. They were putting the All Blacks under immense pressure in their first 10 minutes. A pretty good little snipe run by Rico at the 15-minute mark, but there were no avail for the All Blacks. But it was a good small attack from them. Just shortly after that penalty goal from the French. Jordan Barrett, though, ends in the 16th minute, almost scores his first try of the year for the All Blacks, but a knock-on due to Fletcher Neal early in the phases for it scratched that try out, so they went back for a scrum on the 45-metre mark. But French hit back within a minute after that scrum restart through the number 8, Michaela Gollard. I'm sorry if I pronounced their name wrong. For the French first try of the night, and with a successful conversion, they made the score out to 10-0 for the French. Later on, a little bit later on, a charge down by Scott Barrett gets the All Blacks within 5 metres of the line, and through 8 phases of hard French defence, the All Blacks get the ball flown out to Will Jordan through Beauden Barrett to score his 39th try for the All Blacks, Will Jordan, man. And it was the first try at the 20th minute mark for the All Blacks, and Beauden Barrett got the conversion successful, which made it out to 10-7 for the French. The All Blacks hit back once again at the 26th minute mark through Tupouvae after amazing quick feet attack from D-Mac as well, and Beauden Barrett pushed the conversion as well and gets the All Blacks into the lead 14-10. The All Blacks seem to be finding their quick attack mojo back in the second quarter of the first half, but still had some silly passes and no look ones as well, but they did look different in the second 20 of the first half and the first 20 minutes of the first half. The French achieved another penalty due to Tupouvae's jumping across in the line-out, and chose to kick a goal again. And with a successful conversion for that penalty goal, they closed the gap to only a 1-point game for 14 for the All Blacks and 13 to the French. Cody Taylor had a very good snipe and dummy pass around the 36-minute mark as well, but the All Blacks knocked it on and the scrum was awarded to the French. So pretty back and forth attacking and defending in that first kind of 35 minutes of the first half. Jordie Barrett finally gets his first try of 2025 and his 28th in his career. And at the 39-minute mark, and another successful conversion from Bowden. His brother makes the score at halftime, 21-13 for the All Blacks. The standout players for the halftime for me were definitely Bowden Barrett and Will Jordan. They played pretty well for the first half, and also Cam Roigard as well. He's been electrifying for that first half as well. Coming into the second half, the French hits the All Blacks early in the second half through Gabin Valera. Sorry, I'm terrible with these French names. But that was at the 42nd minute mark, and a successful conversion by VN number 10 that makes the score to 21-20 in the favour of the All Blacks. Roigard got close to the line at the 44-minute mark though, with a good break through their defence, but the French had very good defence throughout this game, and they turned the ball over at the ruck to deny the All Blacks a quick ball and another try. Will Jordan, though, a couple minutes later, gets his 40th test try to get the All Blacks to 26-20 over the French, and another successful conversion through Bowden Barrett adds an extra 2 points and makes the game out to 28-20 for the All Blacks. But it didn't come with another French attack. The French hit back quickly at the 49th minute through their replacement Cameron Awaki to make it 28-7, a 1 point difference for the All Blacks. And it doesn't black suit on Duplessis Kirby, guys, man. He comes on and kind of that middle period of the second half, and to replace Christian Little-Witty, who also played very well as well for his test debut, Christian. So, congrats to him. And so that Artie Xavier went to 7, and old Dupes Artie went to 8, and Dupes went to 7. I was about to say the other way around, but anyway. A little bit of drama happened as well a little bit later. A yellow card to their French number 11 for a very questionable deliberate knock-on, I have to say myself. Being an All Blacks fan, that was a bit interesting. Under law, it's deemed to be a deliberate knock-on, but, I'm questionable about that. Let me know your guys' thoughts about that in the comments below. But moving on, guys. Billy Proctor, almost in the 57th minute mark, scored a try for the All Blacks to extend their lead to 33-27. But they fell very slightly. But it fell very slightly out of his hands in the TMO review, and they deemed that he lost contact of the ball. So then they rubbed that off the scoreboard. But Will Jordan came with a redemption, and in the 41st minute, in the 62nd minute, he got his 41st try of his career for the All Blacks, but again, he gets rubbed off due to a very questionable obstruction by Postula Tosse, and that's another one I'm going to be very interested to hear what your guys' thoughts about. I mean, I get on what the commentators were saying. Like, I get the fact that, it did stop the defence line for potentially catching, I think it was D-Mac who had the ball at the time. But, I mean, he's allowed to be there as a dummy, a dummy runner, like a dummy passer for D-Mac to, pretend to pass to. He's allowed to be there, but I guess some people can argue the fact that, he still took an extra odd step just to kind of, block, quote unquote, and, the defence. But, okay, well. Anyway, moving on. Bowden Barrett goes towards a penalty shot at the 72nd minute and makes it a successful kick to extend the All Blacks to a 31-27, and ends the game at full time with a kick out to the touch to make the final score 31-27. So guys, my standout players for the game, my All Blacks guys, Cam Roigard, man, he was electrifying through that game. He had an amazing game. He had quick snipe runs as well, like any little halfback does. Kind of reminiscent of Aaron Smith's, powerful little quick snipes he does. He had very good box kicks throughout that game as well, and his passes were pretty good and on point. But the question that everyone will probably be wondering is, how did Rieko go back back on the left wing? Well, from my point of view, he didn't really get the ball in, from the All Blacks. He didn't really get the ball out from the All Blacks to the wing that much. So, in saying that, he did come in, he did attack, he did help out in the ruck time. I feel like if the All Blacks could get the ball out to that left wing a bit more, it could unleash, Rieko's amazing pace that he's known for. But he still tried to get himself involved in the game. So, he did do a lot more work being in the 11 jersey than he did in the 13. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It's only the first game of the 2025 with him back at 11 since I think it was the last game was like 2022, I think, the last game he was on the wing. But anyway, we'll see how time goes on in the more games he has on the left wing. So the first 20 minutes of the All Blacks had 1 minute and 14 seconds in the French's 22 to the French's only 11 seconds. So the All Blacks did have more territory and possession in that first 20 minutes, but it just showed in the first 20 minutes that the French had more efficient and more accuracy with the attacks. So guys, that's a little rundown and breakdown of the tries in the match summary. Let's go to the stats now, guys. So territory, about 33%, about 56% for the All Blacks to the 45% territory for the French. To possession in the last 10 minutes were 54% to the French's 46%, but overall it was 62% possession for the entire match for the All Blacks to the French's 38% possession. To the attack, 259 phases in total for the All Blacks, 184 ball carries, 403 meters post contact meters, and 11 line breaks for the All Blacks. To the French's 105 passes, 94 ball carries, 167 meters post contact meters, and 3 line breaks. The defense, man, the French were just owned the defense there through that whole game, and I'm like, damn, man, I'm surprised that the All Blacks even got through. The French had a crazy defense, 224 tackles made by the French, and only 27 of them were missed, when the All Blacks had 121 tackles made and only missed 8. So tackle completion in long run, 89% for the French, 94% for the All Blacks. Mind you though, the French defensed much more for the All Blacks, and they did a good job. Even though their position, their completion percent is lower, in perspective from their numbers, the French did a lot more defense, and they were good at it. I have to give it to them, they were good at it. So you guys, that is my review of the game between New Zealand versus France in Dunedin full time, 31-27. So you guys, let me know what you guys thought about the game in the comments below. Let me know what you guys thought about the video in the comments below as well. I like reading all the comments and hearing you guys' opinions. But you guys, like and subscribe if you liked the video, and that's all for me, guys. Have a good one.